Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it looks like Ray Fuentes has put up a clip of, this is the CEO of Linkto, who is my sponsor right here, linqto.com. They sell private equity to accredited investors. Here's a clip from a show that Joe Endoso was on about private equity.
Because if you look and read the actual Securities Act, the 40s Act, and you look at that section that has to do with who is eligible for investment in non-public listed companies, you'll immediately see in the text that all they were thinking about was financial sophistication and risk-taking capacity. There was no wealth test. As a matter of fact, the wealth tests that are in today's regulation didn't come into regulation until the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
They're relatively young. Yeah.
So anyway, what he's talking about is the accreditation rules. You have to be accredited to buy on Linkto. Now, and they do have a bunch of private equity on there, including things like Ripple, Cerebras, which is an AI company, Uphold, which you're all familiar with, and a lot of that's up there right now. Speaking of Ray Fuentes, they also have Glint on the Linkto platform. Glint's another one of my sponsors. And here, Ray, and by the way, Ray Fuentes, let me pull up his YouTube channel right here, because you need to see it. Hold on a second, if I can pause that. Go to Ray Fuentes and give him a subscribe. Ray's been around the XRP community for a long time. He did a full interview with Jason Cousins, and here is a clip from that where they're talking about the 2008 financial crisis versus today.
Do you see any similarities from the previous financial crisis to what's going on now?
Yeah, it's much worse. We did not have $34 trillion worth of debt at that point. The US hadn't weaponized its currency one last time. We didn't have dollar currency reserves at all-time lows. QE went on steroids after 2008, and then legislators and central banks suddenly said, hey, we like this, let's use it again. Look at what's happened with the money printing.
Do you see...
And of course, Glint is a gold company where you get a card and you can actually spend your gold. And so, cool stuff. Now, there's not anybody that lives in America that shouldn't see this, because I believe this has everything to do with crypto. It has everything to do with the great wealth transfer that's going to happen. It has everything to do with trying to solve this mess that these politicians have gotten us in. I'm actually today in the group in DAIXRP.com. We're going to be talking about tether, because I think tether plays a role too. But you need to listen to every 2 minutes and 12 seconds of this to really understand what got us here. What got me here. The reason I'm doing this channel is because of what he talks about right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Director, welcome. Mr. Director, what's the national debt right now?
Well, it's we project at the end of this year it's going to be over $28.1 trillion.
28 trillion. What percentage of GDP is that?
It's just under 100%.
Could you speak into the mic and repeat that?
It's just under 100% of GDP.
Okay. And for this current fiscal year, will we have spending deficits?
Yes, sir. We're looking at about a $2 trillion deficit this year.
And that means that we've spent $2 trillion more than we took in, right?
That's right.
So we've had to borrow money.
That's right. That's right. The debt is going up.
And so that money that we borrowed increases the amount of national debt, doesn't it?
That's right. And it means more interest payments, which then goes back and means more debt. So there's a negative cycle attached to it.
Okay. So our current national debt is over 100% of our economy. It's $28 trillion. Let's suppose that we think in 10-year windows, as you know. Let's suppose nothing changes over the next 10 years. Nothing. We don't renew the tax cuts. Nothing changes. What's the debt going to be 10 years from now?
Right. So our projection is then over $50 trillion or over 122% of GDP.
Yeah. Well, damn, looks to me like we better do something. I mean, we can sit here and debate the tax cuts and you talk about the tax cuts don't work. I don't know how you know that because the pandemic skewed all economic results. But we better do something, huh? Do you think we can sustain the spending?
No, the risks are mounting with higher interest payments and higher debt. And that's, as you said, that's why action must be taken.
I love how all these people act like they're innocent bystanders. They could do something. They could put something in motion right now, today. That there's nothing that should be a higher priority than this. Because once the money runs out, which it did a long time ago, once the proverbial shit hits the fan, then people are going to be. It might be dangerous for some of these politicians when the people get really desperate out here. The breakout will be immense. XRP, are you mentally prepared? I'm mentally prepared, and I do think the breakout will be immense. That is why I'm here. That's why I've never lost faith in XRP, not once. This is from the CFTC Digital Assets Hearing 2024, right here.
Interconnection between crypto and traditional financial markets is increasing. But the trading of spot digital commodities like Bitcoin and Ether are not overseen by any federal regulator. These and other digital assets that are not securities account for most of the value traded in crypto markets, as we know. If recent history is any guide, we cannot afford to wait any longer to regulate these assets. The time to act is now, and that's why I'm so glad we are having this hearing. This is why I've been working so closely with Senator Bozeman to advance bipartisan legislation that will give the CFTC regulatory authority over digital commodities. We're working to have specific language to members by the end of the week for your review. We have a lot of important work to do this year in the committee, and I'm committed to building the bipartisan coalitions both here and on a bipartisan farm bill so that together we can make supporting America's farmers and families.
Okay. There's a lot going on. Bitstamp is all over this. Ever since Robinhood bought Bitstamp about a month ago, and all of a sudden Bitstamp is all about some XRP. Mastering XRP transfers. From understanding destination tags to managing transaction costs, delve into the process of XRP transfers. Love it. Then Ripple's honored to be recognized by CNBC and Statista charts. Let me see here. Statista as one of the world's top fintech companies in 2024. Then we've got this from Wheezy. Whales scoop up 550 million XRP as retail dumps. Well, not this retail guy. I accumulated in the pullback. Fueling speculation of a retail shakeout. They didn't shake me out. They haven't shaken me out since 2013. Now, this is Ryan Selkis. He is not happy with the White House meeting that is going on, this crypto roundtable that this congressman is doing. And so he just live streamed out of the White House. I was trying to record that, but it kept going down. I never could listen to it. I was going to record it and play some of it, but he says he's going to be live streaming out in front of the meeting. His demands: copy and paste RNC crypto platform, fire John Donenberg, Gary Gensler, and Christy Romero. John Donenberg, and I'm assuming Christy Romero are, well, all these people are Liz Warren's minions. And then free Ross and Ross Ulbricht and Roman. I don't know who Roman is. Maybe I should know who Roman is. I don't. But then they are really on CNBC trying to make sure they get this Bitcoin pumping again. So they had Anthony Pompliano. Apparently he has retired his Bitcoin pizza business, and he is now professional capital management CEO.
Bitcoin rising on Fed Chair Powell's comment to the Senate Banking Committee yesterday, outlining risks of keeping rates higher for longer. Joining us now, Anthony Pompliano, professional capital management CEO. It's kind of doing what you have always said is possible at any time, and that those are large moves up and down.
Yeah.
Think we're getting down into the 40s, or this is it already?
No, I mean, look, prices go down because there's more sellers than buyers, obviously. And so the question is who's selling? And there's really two main culprits at the moment. The German government has about 50,000 Bitcoin that they seized from a pirating website, and they've been trying to offload it. What's interesting about it, if you look at the on-chain data, is they're basically going to as many exchanges as they can and trying to sell. And so they're about halfway through that right now. It's about $2.5 billion. They've sold about $1.5 billion or so. And then there's also the Mt. Gox Bitcoin that's been distributed. And so I think people more so are scared, hey, if there's billions of dollars being distributed back, are these people who have been illiquid for years just going to sell it? What's really interesting about this is...
I'm not scared about that. I'm scared that Bitcoin has no use case, has no utility, and it's slow, and it's dinosaur, and it's expensive. That's what I'm scared about, but I don't own enough of it to be that scared. I have 1.5 Bitcoin, which I'm going to keep. It's my manipulated market hedge. It's one of them. Okay, now I'm going to show you, we're going to talk tether conspiracy. I'm going to show you what I consider to be kind of a funny / bizarre tether video in DAIXRP.com. So look, there's no question in my mind that tether was set up in some kind of partnership with some of these 3-letter agencies for a few purposes we've talked about before. I'm going to talk about this more and some other things I haven't shown about tether and where I think this is going. I think it's a prototype of some sort. I also think that this is going to all just flow right. I mean, I think opportunity and timing is everything, and I think the timing of real USD is not a coincidence. All right. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that in DAIXRP.com I showed a bizarre tether video. Here we go.